Greetings and salutations. This is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
And we are showing you early Imperial Roman cavalry from Vitrix. Now, this video is directly following the Dark Age video because these are early Roman, but the kind of gear the soldiers are wearing could pass for early Dark Age type gear that would be floating around. There would be mail and stuff like that were floating around, and the only Dark Age cavalry that we could get hold of was this one, where they're all in normal cloth, which is okay for hit and run, but not really good as cavalry. So you could, with a bit of work, convert these guys to being sort of post-Roman Britain.
And they definitely weren't lying on this when they said highly detailed models.
Oh yeah, these guys, they're Vitrix, so well, actually everything's good now. You can't really. There's not many bad.
Too much competition in there now.
Yeah, there's too much competition around. I remember the first plastic kits that came out, and it was like, oh well, these are naff, but they'll be all right. And now, yeah. So these guys are pretty good. And anyway, that's just a aside. This is in addition to the last video we did, but the last video is going on quite a long time. So these are early Roman cavalry. They are early Imperial Roman. So you're looking at the 1st century period, including Vespasian's time, which was the best time ever to be alive in Rome, because Vespasian was awesome, and he built the Colosseum place where you can play games and stuff. That was awesome. And then you had plague and a volcano. So maybe people living in Rome at the time would consider it a bit like 2020. Sort of everything's going wrong. We've had plague and a volcano. We've just had both. So, yeah.
And wars everywhere.
Yeah, so the next thing coming will be the Goths. Yeah, then everything goes downhill after that. So actually it would be the Parthians, wouldn't it? With Trajan and all that. Yeah, so we've got the filthy Parthians coming after us. Then we have to deal with the Goths.
Or as the Romans said, barbarians.
Barbarians, yes. So these guys would have dealt with barbarians quite a lot. Romans didn't have cavalry. They actually used other people's countries' cavalries, part of their empire, who were on horseback, and they sort of used these. These could easily be Gallic. The helmets would identify them more as Gallic. I'll go close up. Gallic helms. So that's more the sort of helmet that the post-Roman, the early Roman Gaul. These are really Gallic style helmets, which were adopted, and you've got some. That's to make them posh cavalry with funky feathers on their heads, because the funky feathers are awesome. We've got a decent amount of weapons. We've got spears, gladius. Yep, they're gladius, and a nice little Roman banner with SPQR written on it, or a symbol or something.
Well, it is early Roman.
It is early Roman, so it
could have anything on
it. So would it still? Yeah, it would still have SPQR. It could also have a picture of the emperor.
Could be the eagle.
Later Roman, it would have a Christian symbol on it. So which would be an X. Early Christian was an X with a P over the front. Not the cross, the crucifix we have today, because there's reasons for that. Things happen. But yeah, it's quite good. What have we got over here? Okay, we have a pointy wavy hand, which is good. If you do figures in, say, a bog with sort of water around where the guys are going across the bog, then that hand could be sticking out sort of someone who's drowned.
Every time,
yeah. Any time I model water, it always has a guy's hand sticking out of it because I'm silly. Or it could be a hand that's pointing.
Did you ever get the idea by any chance from Lord of the Rings?
Oh no, this is way before Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so we've got nice officers' cuirass top there, which is horsehair, and yeah, they're okay. What's that one at the top there? You see that? That's yet another symbol, and that is the emperor's face. And it's actually the emperor who is the emperor. The Romans actually believed that the face of the emperor could see what was happening. Yeah, very 40k. So the emperor's death mask, or well, not death mask. The emperor would have been alive at the time, but for 40k it would be the death mask. And so, like a chaplain has a skull face, and the skull face is the face of the emperor, the death mask of the emperor. And this would be the actual face. That's actually painted on, which is a bit naff. They would usually have used an actual life-size head made of silver. And so it would be there, and the emperor would be looking out over the battlefield, seeing how his troops are doing. Just great.
In reality, he's sleeping because it's like 3 a.m. in Rome.
yeah. Rome passed a few time zones. Yeah, well, if it was Vespasian, he'd probably be on a date with his mistress, or he'd be...
All of a sudden, survive on the battlefield and start hacking and slaying.
Well, yeah, he did that too, yeah. There we go. It's a bit sad, isn't it, really? So we have the shield and that shield. Now, I'll tell you something great about this box, because this wasn't out when we did Romans before. And we wanted naval troops, Roman naval auxiliary. There were two Roman marine units, and we wanted these shields because these shields are used by marines. Why were they used by marines?
It's aboard ships, isn't it?
It's for ships, yes. It's for troops who operate from the backs of ships, and then they get off ships and fight. It's so you didn't catch because they used the square shield, the oblong shield at the time. So this design was to use on ships, and so you could get off and on and off ships quite easily without catching the shield in rigging and stuff like that, because it was curved. Is that cool?
Yeah.
That's cool. So legionaries would have used these, but they would have been marine legionaries.
So what's the cavalry like?
We've already done the weapons, haven't we?
Yeah, we've done all.
These are the actual cavalry. They're cool, they're okay. As I said, using them for later.
I do like that they haven't got any arms, because that means you can definitely completely customise the...
They're very customisable, yes.
Because most cavalry, one of the arms is holding the horse, and that's it. You only have one arm to use.
Yeah. With these, they're pretty good. They're in early mail. Oh, well, I say early. Relatively early mail, Roman early mail. And it's short-cut because they ride on horseback. If you're going to use these for later, the mail will be longer. So you might need to do some work on it, or just get some figures with full mail and lose the heads and use these heads. Yeah. So they're duplicates, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all the same. So that's them. They're pretty good.
Nice figures.
Yeah. Now we're going to the horses, because these are actually slightly different.
I like the horses.
These horses have quite a lot going on. We have quite a lot of detail. A lot of detail. They look great. And they're clearly horses owned by the Romans, because they're expensive. These are line soldiers, just perfectly normal line soldiers, and look how they're equipped with all the different equipment and stuff they've got, all the braiding, which is just absolutely great. And I'll show you here. See that there fits on top of the saddle, because the Romans didn't use stirrups. You can't see the saddle, can I? There. The Romans didn't use stirrups. They used this type of seat. And the great thing about this type of seat is you could lean off the side of the horse. You weren't fastened into the horse. You could lean over the side of the horse, and you could grab one of these notches on the saddle, and you could hold on to it. You wouldn't fall off, because it was attached to the horse, or the horse is covered in straps, so the saddle's not going anywhere. And you can actually jump all the way around on the saddle and do all sorts of acrobatic stuff on the back of the horse, even flip round backwards, and you are absolutely fine. The saddle's not going anywhere, and you can ride on the back. The Romans found it a lot easier, and was it the Mongols or the Chinese were the ones, or the Hun, not the Hun, was it the Goths who supposedly created the stirrup? The Romans had no reason to create a stirrup. There was no reason for it, and stirrups were actually around pre-Roman. It's just they weren't. There was only a few archaeological finds of them because they just weren't used. There was no need because they had this awesome seat. Incidentally, very similar to the seat used by knights later on. So, like, you think the knight era, the seats tended to have a very high back, and the reason for that was to stop the knight being pushed out of his seat when he used a lance.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, which is why it's actually in films people hit each other with lances. In real life, people didn't fall out of the seats very easily, so knights would be very unlikely to fall out of their seat because they were on the back of a horse with a huge sort of ramp at the back here. But that's just my thing. So the horses are great, and we've also got a little bit there for javelins, and we've got a nice Roman sheathed sword, and yeah,
You definitely got to look up how to make them first to make sure I do it correctly, because there's a lot of add-ons.
Do you want me to do a couple and let you work it out?
Actually, yeah, if you could do one of them, and
Yeah.
then I can just like learn from there.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. So that's it. I also mentioned you get 16 horses in this. 16 is huge.
It's very nice.
Regiments are 12 usually, so you end up with 6 spare. So 4 spare.
It's funny actually, because this era 16, Napoleonic's 12. Then you got way into the future to American Civil War and stuff like that, 6.
That's
Like,
true.
it got smaller and smaller.
Units, number of horses on the base. I suppose that's because by then you gain with muskets. No, not muskets. Yeah, muskets. So you're using sort of ancient, then better, early arquebus to musket, and the more powerful the weapon, the less figures on a base.
Yeah.
So that's the figures. They actually look really good, and they're really detailed, and they look great. And I'm going to do a few up for you. So
Yeah, do one guy up and do one.
I'll do one guy up.
Cavalry up.
Yeah.
That way I can get out of the basis. For how to do them.
I think a useful thing is having the not that one. They have the javelin pack here, and the only time I've really seen that is in the Dark Age box for the Arabs. Dark Age horse.
Well, I see. I think the reason for me for this is that I've never seen a horse like this before. In all the stuff I've done so far,
With all the braiding.
I have never seen a horse like that before. That is very
I'd say
different.
these are the most,
Detailed.
well, just the most well-dressed horse. Obviously, later knights with all the cloak barding on and everything, yeah. But these guys, these look great. They've spent time and effort on this, and it's great. The horses are absolutely great, which is why another reason I was thinking early Dark Age would be good to do these in. So that's it. Over.
So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel and you like the Imperial Roman Cavalry, then just go into the description and we will be doing up some. As we say, we do these on their own basis, so singularly.
Yeah, because we're going to be doing this Dark Age for our own collection.
So yeah.
But we'll do some. Well, there's 16 in a box, so we'll have spare. So do them as Roman.
That's everything from me.
And everything from him. Goodbye.
See ya.
Hang on. No, you were supposed to say goodbye.
No, you say goodbye first.
No, you said everything from me, so I said everything from him.
Goodbye.
You're supposed to say goodbye.
Yeah,
Isn't
okay,
that?
yeah. That's everything from me.
And everything from him.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.